Good evening, the evening news. I am Tajuddin Amodu. Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke has assured citizens of the state that his administration is committed to protecting interests of the citizenry. Governor Adeleke gave this assurance at the press conference organized for his 100 days in office. Governor Adeleke, while reeling out his achievement during his 100 days in office, include technological revolution through new tech innovation policy, ICT policy and domestication of Nigeria Startup Act, Farmers Intervention Initiative, commencement of the 30-month backlog of half salaries and several staff emolument issues, payment of arrears of contributory pensions, approved fund for Osun Rural Project Development, implementation of mass water projects across 332 wards, rehabilitation of schools and health centers. Others include reconstruction of Osogbo-Ikiran-Kwara border road, mass road reconstruction across Osun State, preparatory work for the making and implementation of Osun climate change policy and strategy, implementation of Osun State tourism policy plan, implementation and expansion of Imole medical surgery initiative across the state, among others. Governor Adeleke, however, admonished residents of the state to vote for the 26th House of Assembly candidates of the PDP, saying a vote for the PDP candidate is a vote for continuous good governance, which will speed up the progress already recorded and drive Osun State to greater heights. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has asked the Presidential Election Petition Court to vary the orders that were granted to the candidates of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and Labour Party, Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi, respectively, to inspect materials used for the last presidential election. INEC, in a motion, is praying the court to vary the order which restrained it from tampering with materials used for the election. The Commission said it needed to reconfigure the bimodal voter accreditation system for the next round of elections. The appellate court had granted leave to Atiku and Obi to inspect election materials used by the INEC in the conduct of the February 25 presidential election. A panel of the appellate court led by Justice Joseph Ikieng granted the permission following the separate ex-party applications filed by Atiku and Obi, who came second and third respectively in the presidential election won by Asiwaju Bola Tinubu of the All Progressives Congress, APC. In the meantime, with 4 days to the governorship and House of Assembly elections across the country, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has directed the Sokoto State Resident Electoral Commission, Dr. Nura Ali, to stay away from the commission. The directive is contained in a letter signed by the Secretary to the Commission, Rose Oriaran Anthony, and addressed to the Sokoto State Office of the Commission. The INEC further directed the Administrative Secretary of the state to take full charge with immediate effects. It will be recalled that INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu recently in a meeting with State Reg vowed to deal with any official of the Commission who contributed to the shortcomings of the presidential election. The Administrative Secretary is directed to take full charge of INEC Sokoto State Office with immediate effects. The letter further directed her to liaise with Supervisory National Commissioner Professor Mahmoud Sani Keita for further clarification when necessary. A former Deputy National Chairman of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Olabode George, has condemned the reported threat against voters of Igbo extraction in Lagos. Speaking at a press conference in Lagos, George expressed displeasure at the audacity displayed by those behind the threats. This was as he urged citizens of the state to go out and vote in the governorship election on Saturday, pointing out that adequate security will be provided for them. He alleged that there are grand designs to provoke the peace-loving Nigerians whose resolve is to effect change through the ballot box on Saturday, as threats are being issued against voters suspected to be willing to vote against incumbency. He called on INEC to ensure the use of transformational beavers regime for the transparency of the exercise, a departure from a situation where result sheets were moved manually from polling units. The Nigeria Security and Civil Events Corps said it is ready for the governorship and state House of Assembly elections, noting that violence-prone areas during the presidential election have been discovered and will be addressed. The presidential and National Assembly elections were held nationwide on 25th February, but they were allegedly marked by violence in some parts of the country. The situation reportedly led to loss of lives and disruption of voting process in many areas. In some areas, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, postponed election until the next day over violence. The INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, stated that some bimodal voter accreditation system magazines were snatched from electoral officials in Katsina, Delta, among other states. Spokesperson for the NSCDC, Olushola Odumoshu, gave assurance that the March 11 elections will be violence-free, as voters were urged to come out en masse to vote for candidates of their choice. In the meantime, the federal government says over 869 billion naira is needed to conduct the 2023 population announcing census. The Minister of State for Budget and National Planning, Clement Agba, who disclosed this at a high-level partner engagement in Abuja, said the federal government had provided 46% of the budget. Agba said there remained an outstanding of 327.2 billion naira needed to carry out the census effectively. He said the total requirement for the census, including the post-census activities, is 869 billion naira, amounting to about $1.88 US. The minister added that the government had not conducted the census in almost 2 decades due to the change in administration, recession, and COVID-19, among others. According to him, the census will be digital, green, and transformative, adding that beyond insecurity and cultural issues, funding remained a major challenge for the exercise. The minister said the government will collaborate with relevant organizations and the United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA, to carry out a national census that reflects Nigeria's population. President Muhammadu Buhari has saluted the hard work and dedication of Nigerian women working tirelessly and achieving results in different fields of endeavor, from those sacrificing daily in the markets and farms to train the next generation of leaders. The president also appreciated those breaking limits in education, sport, medical field, arts, entertainment, and even politics, where they are still largely underrepresented. This is as he joined them in celebrating International Women's Day, IWD, to be observed tomorrow, recognizing the invaluable role women have played in advancing the progress of the country since independence. A statement issued by Special Advisor to the President, Femi Adesina, noted that the President expressed pride to have worked and associated with some of Nigeria's brightest women in his cabinet, government, and the international community. He pledged the commitment of the government to promote gender equality and respect for the rights of women, and working conscientiously to remove all barriers that prevent Nigerian women from realizing their universal rights. The 2023 International Women's Day, a platform for women all over the world to support each other in order to take their rightful place in leadership, will hold tomorrow morning. A statement by the State Noge Women Committee under a state chairperson who doubles as the Southwest Secretary for Noge Women, Comrade Wumi Oyetunji, and the State Secretary, Comrade Adorunke Odediji, indicates that the theme of this year's program is Innovation and Technology for Gender Equality. The program, fully supported by Noge President Comrade Nathaniel Ogungbangbe and his deputy Comrade Iyabo Olariwaju, along with other ESCOs, we hold at Noge House, Ilesha Garage area, Osogbo. Expected at the program, according to the statement, are all women of head of local government administration, all Noge branch women leaders, representatives from all local governments in the state, and other invited guests. There will also be a medical checkup to all members immediately after the program. And now to sport. Football-loving Nigerians have slammed the Flying Eagles following their lethargic display against the Gambia yesterday's on the 20 African Cup of Nations semi-final clash at the Cairo Stadium in Egypt. Adama Bojang scored the winner for the Junior Scorpions 7 minutes after he raced onto a defending splitting pass from Ibrahima Singathe. Despite trailing by the early goal, Ladamboso's team dominated possession but lacked the brilliance in midfield to create chances and score. Forwards Ibrahim Mohamed, Samson Lawa, Ali Rusaki, and Francis Abubakar all failed to get their strikes on target, while substitutes and Belgium-based forward Ahmed Abdullahi, who won a penalty in the dying minutes of the game, watched agonisingly as a spot kick hit the left post and rebounded into play in the 85th minute. Gambia's goalkeeper Ebu Diamfa, who was adjudged the man of the match for his brilliant display in goal for the Junior Scorpion, is yet to concede a goal in the tournament after 5 matches. The Flying Eagles scored 21 shots The Fly Eagles recorded 21 shots in the encounter, 4 on target, while Gambia had 3 shots and scored from one of the 2 shots they had on target. Now on the foreign scene, Brazil Justice Minister asked federal police to investigate reports that ex-president Jair Bolsonaro tried to illegally import jewelry worth $3.2 million gifted by Saudi Arabia as tax officials probe a second precinct of jewels. The far-right former president had faced mounting questions over the jewels since newspaper Estado de São Paulo reported that customs officers blocked an aid to his former mines and energy minister Bento Albuquerque from bringing them into Brazil without paying the required import duty after an official trip in October 2021. According to reports, Bolsonaro administration officials intervened at least 8 times to try to convince customs officers to release the diamond jewels, a necklace, a ring, a watch, and a pair of earrings from Swiss luxury house Chopard that had been given to president's wife. Bolsonaro denies wrongdoing. The scandal deepened when Brazil tax agency said it had opened its own investigation over reports that Albuquerque's delegation entered the country with a second, previously undetected set of jewels, also a gift from the Saudi Arabia government. And that ends the evening news on Osbc. Join us at 7 for the major reports. Good evening.
Nítorí tí Ọlọ́run fi aráyé tó bẹ́ẹ̀ gẹ́. Èyí gan ni ẹsẹ̀ Bíbélì tó fìdí ìgbàgbọ́ ọmọlẹ́yìn Kristi múlẹ̀. Látàrí èyí, iléeṣẹ́ Osbc ń kí gbogbo àjọ ọmọlẹ́yìn Kristi kan àwọn ilé ìjọsìn ẹlẹ́gbẹ́jẹgbẹ́ lájọ àti olóríjorí kó àmójúbà àwọn ẹlẹ́ẹ̀tì àti ọdún àjíǹde. Lọ́ba bẹ́ẹ̀ ni iléeṣẹ́ Osbc ń dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo èjìká tí kò jẹ́ ká wò yẹ tẹ́ ń gbọ́ wa tẹ́ ń wò wá tẹ́ tó ń ṣonígbàwó ètò kan tàbọ́mì lọ́dọ̀ wa. Àwa ń fi àsìkò yìí kéde pé ìgbìmọ̀ tí iléeṣẹ́ Osbc gbé kalẹ̀ fọ́dún àjíǹde tí ṣàlàkárí ọkùn òjọ̀kẹ́ ètò lọ́wọ́ tí kò gúnpa bíi Wednesday eru Ash Wednesday ìwàásù lẹ́ǹtì ọ̀rọ̀ ìgbàlà ọ̀nà àgbélébù ìsinmi ọ̀pẹ ọ̀sẹ̀